Hi, I'm Sonia and I help people take their power back. And I am on here to make another announcement. It's just the time of announcements recently. I've been going through a lot of changes and just getting clarity on things and making some decisions, and Carrie and I were just on here announcing the Patreon, which is up and running. If you want to check that out, the link is in the description below. And I have decided that I want to start doing some, for lack of a better term, group coaching. Um, I'm still working out the details, but I am planning on having my first one this Saturday, April 13th. And I don't know past then. So if you are interested in doing some group coaching with me, send me an email and let me know. Yeah. Hi. Hi, Shirley. How are you doing? But yeah, so I'm planning on offering some. Basically, what I'm thinking is get a few people together on a Google Meet and just help you guys kind of work through some of your manifestation stuff so that we can talk, you know, one on one in a group setting. Because I don't know what it is, but the one on one coaching is just not, it's not for me. So wanted to make that announcement. I will have the details soon and I will put them in the description of this video. I will post them on the community, but I am going to have my first group session thing on Saturday. If you are interested in coming and hanging out and checking that out, look for the details or send me an email. And yeah, I'm good working on some limiting beliefs at the moment. You don't have any limiting beliefs. What limiting beliefs? What limiting beliefs? As long as you're focused on there being something to work on and that you have limiting beliefs, they're going to continue to be there. You guys have anything you want to talk about tonight? I wasn't really planning on coming on here because I wasn't planning on making the decision to start doing group stuff right now, but you know, that is how my life is anymore. Go with the flow, and that's the flow. So you've answered a question I've been thinking about. Do I ever need to work on it and figure it out? You've answered a question I've been thinking about. Do I even need to work on this and figure it out? That's up to you, do you? Because you can just drop it and decide that whatever it is no longer a problem. Hi. There are some things, listen, there are some things that I do have to kind of dig into. That's not my default to do that, but there are times when I catch myself and I continuously just like this keeps coming up, it keeps coming up, I keep getting triggered and having the same reaction or things like that, and I notice it's a pattern, that's when I start, okay, why does this upset me? Where does this come from? And a lot of times, just from that acknowledgement, it'll go away. But as long as you're sitting here going, there's things to work on and I have limiting beliefs, you have to be proven right. So you have changed my mindset. I saw your TikTok videos and everything just clicked. I don't know how to explain it. Thank you. Oh, yay! That's awesome. I love that. I love being that person for people, and that is so awesome. I feel like I should dig into it because I keep being blamed by people for nothing. I don't know why. Because you think that people are going to blame you for nothing. Maybe it's just a story. It's definitely a story. So why do you keep telling that story? I have to say, I love nothing more than when people come on here and tell me that something that I said made it click for them. For me, that is the coolest fucking comment that I get from people. What would I affirm? Well, if people never blame you for things and this isn't a problem, what would you tell yourself? That people respect you, that people are kind to you, that people why do you, besides the actions of other people, why do you assume that people are always going to blame you for shit? I am never blamed because I'm never wrong. Right. I think with the wording of affirmations, and if that feels good to you, I would run with it. And here's the thing with it: if you start using it and you're like, it would feels better to say this, then change it. The biggest thing is I don't want to keep thinking this. I don't want to keep focusing on how this is how things always happen, how this is a pattern. I don't want to keep thinking that. So when you start catching yourself thinking, "Oh, they may blame me," or "this always happens," what are you going to tell yourself that tells yourself that that's no longer true? And that definitely covers it. I'm never blamed. I'm not wrong. I'm always right. I always know the right answers. Everyone loves me. However best works for you, but you got to stop going back to and thinking about how this always happens and this is a problem. When manifesting, being lazy, unmotivated for years, to having an insane work ethic, how do I approach this, especially when my body shuts down and I don't want to do anything? You tell yourself that you have shit tons of energy and you always get shit done and you want to do things. It's the same as manifesting anything else. Currently, you focus on how you are lazy and unmotivated and how your body doesn't want to do shit, you don't want to do anything, and you have to be proven right. Literally. So until you shift that mindset and decide that you're motivated and you're going to get shit done in here without actually doing anything to prove you're right, you're going to continue to have that mindset and you're going to continue to get those results. I love how I love how simple you make this. Thank you so much. I've been told that there's hidden beliefs I need to figure out. Your beliefs are not hidden from you guys. And I know that I don't know if people don't realize that your beliefs are just the things you tell yourself. It's just the things you think, those are your beliefs. Whatever you go to is your belief. There's nothing hidden from you. It's all right in front of your face. That's why I can catch you guys on it so easily. You write it in the comments. It's right there. The problem is you think that there's like all this shit underneath it, and it's like there might be, but more than likely it's what you just told me. And if you change that shit, that's the problem is that shit. I literally had a comment from somebody earlier today that are like, I think I'm going to give up on my SP because I'm constantly thinking how they don't want me and they don't trust me and they would never choose me and they would do all this stuff. I keep constantly thinking that, and then they decided they told me they don't want to be with me. And I'm like, yeah, shocker. The problem is right in front of your face. The problem is that you don't want to deal with it. You just want to keep thinking that shit and accepting that shit is true and not shifting it to something else. Caught you at work? Nice. Thank you. That makes sense. You're welcome. Do you do anything to better regulate your nervous system? I am not the person to ask that because I do a bunch of my own shit. The new thing I found, Carrie sent me, it's called the Murr method, I think is what it's called, where you rub your hand and tell yourself things, and that's pretty cool. But I don't, I have nothing that I know enough about to teach it to other people. I keep being told that there's a fear running in my subconscious, and that's where all the beliefs come from in the first place. So I get confused. I love how you teach and share. Oh, I'm glad that you like my crazy antics. Oh man, Carrie sent me a video the other day. I don't know. I couldn't tell you who it was by, but they were like, "Is the subconscious even real?" And they're like talking about the history of the subconscious and how it was discovered by Sigmund Freud trying to understand mental illness. And it's like, is it even real in the first place, or is it what we think it is? Or is it just a kind of a limiting belief, a limited perspective on what's actually happening? In my experience, your beliefs are what you think. They may subconsciously or unconsciously, you aren't sitting there choosing to think that, it just pops up, but you're fully aware of what you believe and what you're telling yourself. What you tell yourself is true is true. It's that simple. Excuse me. When you say stop bitching, whining, moaning, and complaining, that gets me in check. I've actually been thinking about I need to make a video about bitching, whining, moaning, and complaining and what each of those things look like, because I find some people that I don't feel they realize like what exactly all that means. But that the stuff that I share with you guys all the time, whatever you tell yourself is true is true. That one was a huge click for me, and I don't know where it came from. I just started telling myself that at some point. It may have come from filming videos. I just was filming so much content for YouTube, and I had to say something, and it just downloaded in a video. I don't even know, but that one and stopping bitching, whining, moaning, and complaining. Those two things were game changers for me. That's so much easier to accept and change rather than thinking there's so much hidden from me. Nothing is hidden from you. I really like that. Whatever you believe is true is true. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. And once you realize, oh shit, if I can work on building awareness, my big things are presence and awareness, which are hand in hand. You could probably call them the same thing, but it's okay. I'm starting to feel a way I don't like to feel. That's my number one tell. This feels bad. What am I thinking? Is this something I want to keep thinking, and do I want this to be true? Yes or no? Okay. If the answer is yes, then I can keep thinking it, but it's probably not if I feel like crap. So I need to change my thoughts. So if I'm not going to keep thinking this, is there something I can easily think in its place? Do I need to go digging because this is a pattern that I keep going to, or can I just go to isn't it wonderful, everything's perfect, and leave it at that? I was thinking that today, bitching, whining, and complaining. Is it wrong to complain about something unrelated to what we are manifesting? I've been thinking about that for a while. It's your life and you can do whatever the fuck you want to, but I don't want to bitch, whine, moan, and complain because everything is a manifestation. Whatever you put your focus on is going to be proven to you to be true. So if you're bitching, whining, moaning, and complaining, you're manifesting the thing to bitch, whine, moan, and complain about. And the more you bitch, whine, moan, and complain about it, you're going to get more to bitch, whine, moan, and complain about. The law is working perfectly. It's a perfect manifestation created by you. Everything is what you tell yourself that it is. Hi. Straight shooter, Sonia. I like that. I do love it. Keeps me in check. Nice. I'm going to keep saying there's nothing hidden from me. That's making me feel calm. There you go. There's nothing hidden from you. I promise you. Can you talk about taking action? Do I need to take action for certain things to actually happen? For example, making friends, dream career, dream body. That depends on you. If you need to take action, I always go really extreme with this. If you are in an abusive situation, in an abusive relationship, in a physically harmful situation, you need to take action. You need to protect yourself and do what you need to do. When it comes to, oh, you're welcome. When it comes to taking action, eventually you're going to take action. I always talk about YouTube. I was debating forever. Do I want to be a YouTuber? What if I don't? What if I couldn't do it? And what about this? And I shouldn't do that. And then I finally decided I'm a fucking YouTuber. And I started telling myself, I'm a YouTuber. I'm a YouTuber. I'm a YouTuber. No, I'm a YouTuber. Well, I'm a YouTuber. And then the inspiration to become a YouTuber and to post videos came after I was telling myself that that's who I was. The more you practice with your thoughts and the more you see how it works, the more you're going to understand how to take action. If you're telling yourself I'm a YouTuber and then you're like, okay, how do I prove to myself I'm a YouTuber? I promise you that's not going to fucking work. I did that shit for years with YouTube and all kinds of stupid shit that I was trying to fucking do. None of it worked out because I never identified as the person who was successful at the thing I was trying to do. If you tell yourself, like, your dream body, if you decide, okay, I'm going to work out and get my dream body, but constantly are telling yourself you're fat and you can't lose weight and you hate how you look, what is going to be your experience? Sure as hell that you have your dream body is not going to be what's going to happen. I promise you. Again, from experience. If you do not have the mindset, no matter what actions you take, it is not going to give you the result that you're looking for. I saw a post that said 3D is old news. You won't find proof of your new paradigm in your old one. It helps me a lot to keep on persisting. Hi. Yep, that's a good way to look at it. And there's no one way to look at the 3D. You need to find what works for you, but that is a great way of looking at it. This is old and I'm not going to be able to find proof that what I'm thinking right now is true because this is old shit. It's a good reminder to go back in here and affirm. Or think as if, or however you... I think in words. I can't comprehend being someone who thinks more in pictures. I know that's a thing. I can't relate to that. Excuse me. All I can do is speak from my experience. And just because it's been my experience doesn't mean it's everyone's experience or that it'll be the right answer for you. That's why I repeat repeatedly, take what resonates and leave what doesn't. The best thing you can do, the whole point of all of this, is to learn about you and learn what works for you. And the only way you're going to learn what works best for you is through trial and error and tweaking. Whatever you tell yourself is true is true. That's the law. The rest of it is completely up to you. Anyone else have anything they want to talk about tonight? I got on here, it was before anybody was on here, I was talking about that I going through a lot of different things right now and have decided that I want to start doing, for lack of a better term, group coaching. So I'm going to have one this Saturday and probably one next Tuesday night around the same time if anybody wants to come hang out and the information as soon as I have it available. I'll put it in the description of this video. I'll put it in a community post. But yeah. I don't know if you spoke about this, but when did you start your manifesting journey? I have a video on here. It's an older video. If you go on my channel and search like my story or something like that, you can find it. It's like an hour long and I talk about all the things. But I found manifesting in, I never can remember. It was in 2018. And back then it was law of attraction. Started working with law of attraction coach in 2019. Found law of assumption in the end of 2021. Started to understand it in the summer of 2022. But at this point in my life, my entire life has been my manifestation journey. I just didn't become aware of it until 2018. What's the difference between law of attraction and law of assumption exactly? Law of attraction, I don't even know what the law of attraction is. It's like attracts like. Okay. Now what? Law of assumption is whatever you assume is true is true. Whatever you tell yourself is true is true. Whatever you are thinking is your experience. In my personal opinion, and from my experience and my understanding, the first time that law of attraction was ever used in anything was Abraham Hicks. There was a book, something about the law of attraction. In my opinion, Abraham Hicks's stuff is bastardized Neville Goddard. Neville shit that was not completely understood and made extremely complicated. And then from there, it became trendy with like The Secret and that, and it just became this trendy thing that people used and got results with, but they don't understand why they're getting the results. And that's why people are so fucking confused, because they were looking at a surface level, oh, you do vision boards, and oh, you script, and oh, you do this, and you get the results. And the reason so many people don't get results is because that's not what you're doing. You have to change you. If you believe that making a vision board and looking at it is going to work, it will. If you believe that scripting is all you have to do, then that will be true. But most of us don't hold that belief system. We're very fucking skeptical and don't understand what you're truly doing. It's all about vibration, whatever that is. Your vibration starts as a thought. Everything within you starts as a thought. In my experience, it's all starts with a thought. The thing that you control is your thoughts. Your feelings are a manifestation of your thoughts. You have to think and acknowledge something. Something has to happen, and you have to think about it, process it in your brain before you're going to have a physical reaction to it. Your brain creates the physical reaction, which means your brain had to perceive and think about something before it did something. There's so many rules and limitations in LOA on social media nowadays. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I believe that everything is thought, or at least begins there. Well, my old insecure manifestations happen now that I'm completely secure. I'm not worried about it, but I'm curious. Are you sure about that? The fact that you're thinking about it, you're putting energy toward it, and the only reason it would manifest is because you're paying attention to it. Oh, that would manifest, which means you're worried about it manifesting, or telling yourself that it will manifest. If that no longer matters, then why do you need to ask the question in a way that makes it seem like it matters? The most important thing is to take our power back and stop the victim mentality. Oh, yeah, I agree. Yeah, that is so true. Whatever you tell yourself is true is true. If in this moment, which is all that exists, you are choosing to wonder if all that shit is going to manifest, where is your attention and what are you possibly accepting as not you're not accepting it as true completely, but you're accepting it as a possibility. So why would it become a possibility? Because you're allowing it to be one. Which is a choice that you are making by allowing yourself to think that way. I prefer to identify with the new story and the new me. Hi, Sonia. Does affirming need to be done in past tense? Does affirming need to only be done in past tense? Is it true that affirming in future tense will not make something happen in the present? In my experience, no. But here's the thing, whatever you tell yourself is true is true. If you believe that you can only affirm in past tense, then that's going to be what you experience. You have been manifesting your entire life. Were you worried about how you were thinking the past or the future tense of it? In my experience, the most important thing is telling yourself that things are the way you want them to be or going to be that way. I am going on vacation. That doesn't mean if you have the vacation already set in stone, that by saying I'm going to go on this vacation, that it's like forever pushed out and you're never going to get there. But that's, what do you believe? What feels good to you? Tell yourself that it's working perfectly and that you're doing it right. The only person who can tell you you're doing it wrong is you. Any advice letting go of the old story? I'm feeling a lot better, but it creeps in sometimes. That's when you affirm. Literally, you tell yourself the new story. That's it. Yes, your brain thinks thoughts. And when it thinks thoughts you don't want it to think, you choose to think differently. You can also revise it. Yep. Just keep thinking your new story. And it's not about trying to perfectly keep thinking it, it's about coming back to it. Oh, my brain's going over here. I'm coming back to it. The past is gone. You're welcome. It's only a memory thought. All right, I'll keep doing what I'm doing then. Nice. I just realized I wanted to tell you today that your TikTok videos made it click for me, but I didn't find your Instagram, and now I'm here in your life and said it here crazy. I'm actually not on Instagram, that's why you can't find me there, but I am over here. I am over here. You're welcome. It truly is the only law. This is why Neville was like, it's the law of he called it multiple things. The law of consciousness, the law of assumption. Whatever you tell yourself is true is true. Whatever you are accepting as true is your experience. The experience that you're going to have is a knee-jerk reaction from your past shit, your belief systems, the things that you have accepted as true and think are true right now. That is going to create the experience you're having right now unless you choose something different. So let's say you lose your job. If you lose your job, let's say 10 people lose their job. Every person is going to have a different reaction to losing their job. Every single one. Some of them are going to freak out. Some of them are going to be like, this is amazing. All based on the shit that they are accepting true as true right now. So if you're the person who's like, oh my God, I'm so screwed. I'm going to lose everything because I don't have money coming in and I can't get a job. And you're going to be proven right because that's what you're accepting is true. Just like the person who's like, oh, this is amazing. I can start a business and I'm going to be so successful. They're going to be proven right. And if you are either of those people and you don't like the way you're reacting to it, you can choose how you are going to view everything. Oh, that makes sense. I couldn't find I couldn't find you. Yeah. That's why you can't find me on Instagram. I am not there. When manifesting SP with a third party, I'm noticing I'm expecting him to contact me before our semester ends, but I'm fearing that it won't happen. I'm in this weird in between. You are together now. You're trying to figure out how it's going to happen, and you're putting rules and expectations to it and setting outcomes, and then you're waiting for that to happen. And since it's not happening, you're looking outside of you, deciding it's not happening. Oh, the things that I think have to happen in order for us to end up together and 3P to be gone aren't happening, so it's not working. You're together now. That's none of your business. The how is now, the when is now, and the how is not your job. I can't remember who always puts that in my comments in my lives, but it's fucking true. The when is now, and the how is not your job. You are together now. In your imagination, you are together now. Whenever you want to sit there and think about how this and no, we're together now. We are together now. You're right. I'm not listening to so many coaches. If I already have what I want, I'm going to enjoy my life with my SP. Exactly. If you have what you want, you're not looking for answers. If you have what you want, you're focused on things being good and doing things that you want to be doing because things are good. The biggest thing that I have learned on my journey is realizing that you're always fucking manifesting. You are always thinking. It doesn't ever stop. And the more I have just focused on getting good at being in the present moment and choosing where I'm going to put my focus and how I'm going to view things, the better off I have been. Once you manifest the money, you're going to still think about money. Once you manifest your SP, you're going to still think about your SP. It's not like, oh, manifestation done, I got my SP. That's not the finish line. Now you have the relationship and they did something that pisses you off. What are you going to do? Go back to your old thinking about how they hate you and don't want to be with you? Guess what you're going to manifest? As within, so without. It's a practice. I could not agree more. I could not agree more. I was going through and typing up a bunch of video ideas that I had written down somewhere, and I came across one that was manifesting, law of assumption, whatever, is a practice, not a quick fix. And I absolutely agree with that. Oh man, the amount of time that I wasted and stressed and tried to make it be a quick fix that it just wasn't for me because I was doing like technique hopping and oh man, it was bad. I'm not using the term manifestation anymore. It's already here. I'm not trying to make it happen. It's already done. Yeah, I had to do that too. I have to stop telling myself it's manifesting. It's like, it's not manifesting. I have it. I have it now. In here, I have it. This is old news. So I can't look for evidence of my new life in my old news. I think it was on TikTok at some point. Someone was like, getting mad at your 3D is like getting mad at a newspaper from 1974 and being like, oh my God, I'm never getting my shit. It's like, this is completely irrelevant to anything. I don't like that word anymore. I'm not manifesting. Yeah, I agree. I think reality shifting is more accurate, or quantum jumping is more accurate of what you're doing. Choosing, honestly, is what you're doing. When I'm around my non-LOA friends, they start complaining, being victims, and I just leave, laugh out loud. Yeah, you could also start affirming that they're just so positive and all your friends are into LOA. Hi. I love your brutal honesty. It's one thing a lot of teachers lack. Oh, thank you. The newspaper analogy is spot on. Yeah. I'm glad you like my no bullshit approach. I get some hate from that from some people, and I'm just like, yeah, you know, I don't know how to be anything else but myself, and this is me, and I'm being brutally honest with you people. Someone this week told me I was being sarcastic, and I'm like, I know, being brutally honest. If you can't take the truth, I don't know what to tell you. Your inner world is the real world. And the more that you see that and practice it, experience selection. Yeah, that's all it is. Exactly, always be you. I'm at that point in my life where I completely agree. I really don't care if you like me or not. If you don't like me, don't watch me. It's very simple. The people who crack me up are the people who are like, why do you do this? It's like unbecoming, or, you know, the thing that comes to mind is specifically someone was asking me why I cuss so much. And I'm like, if you don't like me, don't watch me. And they're like, I didn't say I didn't like you. And I'm like, yes, you did. I would like you better if you did something different. I'm not for you. Go away. Do we need to be specific with our manifestation, or can we go general? I want to manifest a job that pays well and isn't demanding, but don't know exactly what that looks like. I mean, you know what it looks like. Your job pays well and it isn't demanding. So I love my job. I have the perfect job. I get paid so much at my job. Whenever you want to bitch, whine, moan, and complain about your job, no, my job's never demanding. I get paid so much. I love my job. You're such a great coach, by the way. Oh, thank you. The no bullshit approach is good, though. There are others out there pushing so many limitations and rules onto LOA newbies. They make it so complicated and difficult for no reason. Yeah, that was my goal, was just make it easy, because it is. I say this quite a bit. I wanted to be the person that I wish I would have found, that just gave me the fucking answers. I love your approach. Oh, thank you. Yeah, I used to be the exact same way, a people pleaser. That was me so bad. Being your authentic self and not giving a fuck is more freeing, the most freeing thing ever. It really is. It really is. Oh my god. I really have that attitude of, I just gave my last fuck a long time ago, and I don't want to order more and replace them. Like, who needs that? After law of attraction, we all appreciate the no bullshit approach. I agree. I had enough, laugh out loud. Yeah. Keep it simple. It is simple. That was one of the things I didn't understand the most, is that it is simple. I was like, it has to be more complicated than this. And it's like, no. No. I don't know how someone couldn't like how you teach. Honestly, it's so straightforward. That's how I come on here. But I have had people that are like, you're so rude and condescending and sarcastic. And I'm just like, that's a you problem. That's a you problem. I had somebody, oh man, I can't remember exactly how they said it, but they basically were saying that they didn't understand my tactic. Like, I'm coming on here as like a stage performer with an act. I'm like, no. This is me speaking my truth. If you don't like it, I can't help you. I would really like if you would elaborate more on how to use tarot cards. Like, I know how to read them, but I don't really see why to look for something that I know is done. But I was wondering about how I can use them to make decisions in the present moment, or if I can use them to warn me about other things going on now. Whatever you believe about the cards is true. Literally. And you will be proven right. I use them to communicate with my spirit guides. I don't play with my cards very much anymore. And I'm actually getting rid of most of them because I don't see myself doing readings for other people anymore. Um I actually, after months of not touching them, I got them out yesterday. And I don't believe they predict the future. I've never believed they predict the future. I've always believed that I am communicating with my spirit guides, so that's what I experience when I use them. But whatever you tell yourself about them is true, and you can use them however you want to. Hi, hope all is well. All is amazing. How are you doing, Tony? Oh my god, what? Laugh out loud. That's definitely about them, not you. Yeah, I just find it funny. That's how I know how much I've changed. Oh, you're welcome. That is how I know how much I've changed because old me would have been fucking devastated and would have been like, "Oh, I need to change me because I'm doing something wrong." I don't know how to be anybody other than myself. So I come on here as myself. I'm always coming from a place of love. I truly want to, you know, share my experience because I know it will help other people. Because I know that if I would have heard what I'm saying before now, it would have helped me so much. I'm here to help the people that my message can help. I know that's not everybody, and I don't care that it is. I'm not using techniques anymore. We don't need them. Love it. Can you elaborate on when people say we manifest who we are? And by the way, I love your tough love kind of approach. Not many will understand the world is just too sensitive. Yeah, for the most part, I don't get a lot of it. I really don't, but there are some people and I'm just like, okay. For the most part, I get so many comments. The comments of people being grateful and thankful for me doing what I'm doing far outweigh the weird shit. But when people say we manifest who we are, whatever you tell yourself is true is true. If you tell yourself that you're shy and no one likes you, you have to be proven right. If you tell yourself, oh, I'm probably too much and people aren't going to like me because I cuss and I'm being too straightforward and people are going to find me rude and offensive, that would be me choosing to be that person, which used to be me. That used to be me. That's why I never was able to get on YouTube. I didn't have the self concept to be okay with people criticizing me in those ways. Now, fuck them. I don't care. I'm manifesting who I am. How did I change it? By telling myself I'm perfect. By telling myself everyone loves me. By telling myself I have an important message and there's people who want to hear it and who need to hear it. Do you ever get intrusive thoughts? I do not like people coming on here and talking about intrusive thoughts. To me, intrusive thoughts are thoughts of self-harm or hurting other people. If that is what is happening to you, please get help because I cannot help you. Suicide prevention is in the description below. If you're talking about thoughts that I don't prefer, as Bashar would say, or thoughts against my manifestations that are just fucking thoughts, Yeah, my brain always thinks. And when I catch myself, I affirm, just like I tell you guys to do. How did I figure that out? By fucking doing it. And practicing and doing it again and trying some shit and realizing that I just need to keep going back to isn't it wonderful? Everything's perfect. Unless there's something specific I can go to in the moment. I don't sit there and label my thoughts. I go, is this a thought I want to become true? No, then I'm going to fucking think something else and affirm something else. I just met thoughts against that won't shut up. Affirm anyway. I can't tell you how much and how many times I have affirmed with that shit still playing in the background, and I just affirm anyway. That's when I'll put on like a video and affirm while I watch something or do something and decide that it doesn't matter that I'm thinking these thoughts. Nope, that's not going to happen because I always get what I want. The more that you do it and the more you see it work, the less that shit comes up and the less it bothers you. I would like to be a successful musician, and I know many artists use TikTok as a platform to get noticed. I personally don't see myself using TikTok. Guessing I'm still worried about the how. Yeah. You're not focused on that you're a successful musician. You're focused on what do I have to do to become a successful musician. If you've, she doesn't talk about it a ton, but if you've ever heard of Naya, she's here on YouTube. She manifested that. She manifested being in a successful band. She manifested learning to play guitar in like 4 or 6 months, and manifesting a band and manifesting record deals and like all kinds of shit. I couldn't tell you like what videos where she talks about that, but she talks about doing that. The when is now and the how is not your job. You are a successful musician. So when you want to think about how, oh, well, I don't know, no one knows who I am. No, I'm a successful musician. Everyone knows who I am. Oh, but this, no, I'm a successful musician. It's the same thing I did with YouTube. I did not figure out how I was going to be successful at YouTube. Just whenever thoughts about YouTube came up, oh, people wouldn't like you. No, I'm a successful YouTuber. People love my content. I wouldn't know what to film. I wouldn't know how much to film, or I don't know how to upload videos, or I have to edit videos, or no, I'm a successful YouTuber, so all that shit worked itself out. Deciding I wanted to post 7 days a week on YouTube because I just fucking went for it. But that came from, I don't remember if I asked my higher self or if I was doing some automatic writing. But I just asked myself, how many days a week do I post? 7. And I was like, are you fucking kidding me? 7 days a week? What do you mean 7 days a week? I could never post 7 days a week. That's so much content. What would I post? No. I'm a successful YouTuber, so apparently I post fucking 7 days a week. At this moment, I have YouTube videos posted through May 31st. I have the same filming schedule I've had now where I have a video and a short going out every day. June 1st is my 1 year anniversary on YouTube. So I have officially recorded enough content to have posted every day for a year on YouTube. Past that, June and July, I'm still posting every day, but I'm going to every other day. One day I'm putting out a video, the next day I'm putting out a short. And when I was on TikTok, the majority of the time I was on TikTok, I was posting 5 videos a day, 7 days a week. because I fucking told myself that I always have content. Whenever I wanted to start worrying about having enough content, no, I always have content. I'm a successful musician. Yay. Congrats on that. Oh, thank you, Kenny. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy to me to I kind of somewhere along the line was like I want to post every day for a year. And then to have at the moment content through July and it's April is nuts. It's absolutely nuts because one of my biggest fucking fears was if I start a YouTube channel, what the fuck am I going to talk about? Consistency is hard. Did you struggle at first? No, that was the thing. When I started, I in June of last year, I decided I was going to post one YouTube video a day, and I was doing shorts too, and I was doing like 3 to 5 shorts every day, something like that. I don't know. And then I decided I didn't enjoy doing shorts, and I was posting them on TikTok. That's what made me download TikTok. Was I was making shorts for YouTube and uploading them to TikTok. And I was doing like tarot shorts and stuff because I wasn't sure if I wanted to go more toward tarot, if I wanted to go more toward mindset, or like I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. If you've gone and watched my first video, it's literally me being like, "Hi, I'm Sonia. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing, but hi." And after a month of that, I'm like, I don't like doing shorts. So I got off of TikTok, quit doing shorts, but filming 7 videos a week for YouTube. There was one point when Jax hurt his back in October. There was a point where I was like, I don't think I'm going to film videos for this week because I film them in bulk. I'll film all 7. I was filming all 7. Hi. I was filming all 7 videos for the week in one day. Now I'm to the point where I film 30 plus videos in a day. The last time I filmed 31 YouTube videos, and I think it was like 15 shorts in a day. And when Jax hurt his back, he wouldn't sit still. The only way I could get him to sit still was to like be right next to him, and he just wanted to move around all over the place. And I finally had him in my bed, and he was like calm, and I was like, I could go get the camera and film with the camera on the nightstand and film videos in my fucking Winnie the Pooh pajamas at this god-awful angle. You can go watch them. And I still got my videos in for the week. Thank you so much for all the help. It's 1:30 a.m. here, so I'm going to go to bed. Good night. Have a great day. You too. If I have a negative thought, I shut the door to that thought like Abdullah did to Neville. Laugh out loud. Oh, I love that. That's great. Thank you. Good night. Good night. That's smart. Actually, it makes more sense to create in bulk, especially if you have the inspiration. Yeah. That was kind of in the beginning, I knew if I gotta film today, like I knew that was never, I knew that was never gonna work. But I can get 7 video ideas and I can film them today and I can upload them and I can schedule them. That's one of my biggest problems with TikTok is I like to film my TikTok videos in TikTok, but there's no way to schedule them. So I have the content to post, but I have to get on TikTok 50 times a day to post the damn shit. You're short on just saying I have everything I want and have to be proven right really clicked for me and helped me. Thank you, because it really can be that simple. Oh, you're welcome. Yay. I love that. Yeah, it can be that simple. You're telling yourself you can't have what you want, you don't have what you want, right? Well, then you can tell yourself that you do have what you want. It's just a matter of doing it and not getting caught up in what you're seeing outside of you. Yeah, I like how on YouTube you can actually schedule shit in advance. Yeah. Oh man, it's the best. Apparently, supposedly, if you upload videos to TikTok through a web browser, which I've never gotten to work, you can schedule them for up to like 10 days, and I just that doesn't do it for me. I love YouTube. Like I said, I got videos scheduled out through July. The next videos I film will post in August, and I can just upload them and schedule them. It's the greatest thing ever. I'm all about easy. TikTok does not make it easy. TikTok makes it so I get stuck scrolling on TikTok all damn day long. That seems too complicated for me. I definitely respect your grind. Obviously, that level of determination is amazing. The funny thing is, it has not been hard. I take one day and film 7 videos. At this point, like I said, it took me 2 days to film 2 months of content. It took me longer to upload all of it. The filming isn't the problem anymore. Like, I'm so used to filming content, and I know that that's part of why I had the desire to get on TikTok, was to practice making shorter form content. Because YouTube's hard. YouTube is a minute. TikTok, you can go up to 10 minutes. So it got me practicing shorter content. And now I have all kinds of content that it's like, this would make a great video, but it's not a YouTube video. It's going to be less than a minute long. And now I'm very comfortable making shorts for YouTube. It all went together. It was all just following the breadcrumbs and trusting myself. And once I started making videos, I enjoy making videos. Oh, for sure. I remember back in 2007 when you could be nobody and go viral easily laugh out loud. And I'm not focused on like going viral. Like, that's not my someone asked me recently. They're like, "Oh, you're growing so rapidly. What are you affirming?" And I'm like, that the people who need to hear what I have to say find me. Like, legitimately. If I never have a video go super viral, okay. I also believe that at some point I'm probably going to just, something will, some videos hit more than others. Some videos hit later, but I'm just going to do me. Yesterday I lost my laptop charger and I was stressed a little bit. That I remembered that I can just decide I found it, and then found it like a minute later. Yeah. You guys, we're that powerful. I do that shit all the time. All the time. All the time. Exactly. I do music because of the passion behind it. I have no desire for fame. Yeah. And if that's where this leads me, I am so much at the point on my journey anymore. I have an idea of what I want my life to look like, but I just don't give a fuck anymore. If I'm happy and healthy, like, I don't, I'm fucking tired of figuring out what's going to make me happy. So I'm just going to focus on I'm happy and let the rest work itself out. which that was not where I used to be at all. I didn't trust the law enough. I didn't trust myself enough. I didn't understand enough to feel comfortable and confident being like, I am just going to tell myself, isn't it wonderful? Everything's perfect, and sprinkle in some other shit in there and things are going to be okay. But that's pretty much what I do now. I don't want to figure out how many subscribers will make me happy on, excuse me, I want to figure out the subscriber number. Like, how many subscribers do I want to have? I don't, whatever. Amidst all that, I've been learning that myself. Yeah, I feel like it's kind of, for lack of a better way of putting it, more of a higher level to it, right? When I first found it, I didn't believe it. I didn't understand it. Then I started to understand it and I started to believe it and I started to see it work. And then I started going bigger with it. And then I just got to the point where it's like, okay, I know I can manifest whatever I want, but I just want to be happy. And I've tried for a long time to manifest things to make me happy. And while it's like kind of worked, why don't I just go to the end of I'm happy and trust that it'll work? Because it always does. Right? Right? Yeah, before LOA, I used to spend so much time on little things and fixing everything. Now I just affirm. Yep. Yep. And I find on my journey, I went from fixing everything to, I don't know if picking my battles is the right way to put it. I think it's just some things I'm willing to affirm specifically for, and other things I'm just not. I can't even remember who I was before LOA, laugh out loud. Oh yeah, since I found manifesting, I am a very different person than when I found it, for sure. For sure. Like the 3D doesn't have such a big effect on me anymore, and I'm so much more a calmer person. Oh, yeah. Oh yeah. I old me just accepted that I would always be like anxious and stressed and pretty much just I would always be unhappy to some degree. And the more I'm in this version of me and the more I understand and the more I do, I realize that that's dumb. And I am calmer and I'm happier just on a day-to-day basis, just more of the time. Like I used to be miserable all of the time. I'm happy most of the time. Yeah, I have my moments, but it's got me to a complete 180. Yeah, it's that. Yeah, I notice the more I understand the law of assumption, the more general my affirmations are. Yeah. And I'm grateful I found Neville because learning, I had to learn that I could go specific in order to trust going general. That was my journey. If you can just start by going general and trusting it, cool. But that was not my experience. Exactly. I'm learning to take my desire off the pedestal. I notice it always comes when you're not looking for it. Yep. Man, a hard lesson I had to learn. I can be happy right now without my manifestations. Even the ones that seem extremely important, even the ones that seem kind of dire, like let's take money. Like I need this money and I don't know where it's going to come from. Oh man. that used to give me panic attacks. And now I'm just like, eh. And not that it won't sometimes like get me going and it won't be stressful, or it just is like, yeah, no, it's gonna be okay. Things are good. And the more you realize that it's gonna come in ways that you're not expecting, and you stop looking for it as like, oh, is this part of this, or what about this, and this has to happen. No, it doesn't. Yes, I went from so detailed and specific to now just saying everything is perfect. I had that same shift. Because I found Neville, and it's like, oh, I can make things how I want them to be, because for me and my law of attraction. I hate that they're the same and they sound the same. In my law of attraction days, it was this or something better, and that stressed me the fuck out. Like I can't explain how miserable that made me. It'll either be this or something better. I don't know why, but it just, oh my god, it was such a living hell. And then once I realized I can be specific, it's like, oh, I can be more in control. And then now I'm just like, I don't care to be. And I love how someone put it on TikTok. They were like, this and make it better. And I'm like, yeah, that is way more what we should be telling people. Not this or something better, this and make it better. You're going to get what you want, but it's going to be way better than you thought it was going to be. Hi, Sonia. In a way I feel changing your mindset is reparenting yourself, because you're choosing your beliefs instead of the grown-ups you happen to grow up around you. Yeah, pretty much. Who do I want to be? And I'm going to choose to be that person. And catching yourself and being like, oh, that didn't come from me. And I can just let it go without judgment or anger or hatred toward the person who gave it to me, because they gave it to me not knowing any better. When people say that you don't have to affirm to manifest, it doesn't make sense, because affirmations are just thoughts laughed out loud. I agree. I get that comment sometimes, and I'm just like, okay, then keep thinking your shitty thoughts. I don't know how to help you. I don't know how to help you. Yep, honestly, I've always been a control freak, especially with money, and I'm learning to let go of control, and it's definitely tough sometimes. Yeah. The more I've accepted it as a process, and the less I look at it as all or nothing, and I have to make this huge leap from where I am to where I wish I was or whatever, it's taken a lot of pressure off of me and has made this journey way more enjoyable, and I've seen way more success with it. For me, it truly has been coming back to the present moment. Okay, this is what I need to take care of right now. Yes, I'm looking to the future, but I'm not dependent on those huge manifestations to like fix what I'm facing right now. Not that they can't show up at any minute, but this situation I'm in is going to resolve itself. Just like losing little crap. Like my brother lost his keys at work. I don't know, like a month ago or so. I talked about it in a video. And he's like, he called and we were like, well, we can bring you a spare key. And he's like, okay. But the whole time this whole key debacle was going on, I was just affirming. He found the key. He found the key. He found the key. You know, we're doing things. It's like, we can bring you a key. Like, there's a key. Don't worry about that. But he found it. And guess what? He found the key like 2 hours later. This and make it better. Wow, that's amazing. Yeah. I was like, oh, that is what I needed to hear when I was being taught, oh, well, you'll either get that or something better. Because my law of attraction coach, it was usually with like jobs. That was the go-to fucking one. Oh my God. I want this job. Well, you can't control that. You'll either get that job or a better job. Okay, but I want this job. And then I got a job and I'm like, okay, this wasn't the job I wanted, so I guess this must be the better job. And is it the better job? And could I manifest a better job? Am I closing myself off by being at this, like, yeah, yeah. It was really bad. It was really bad. Love attraction days, you used to tell me that everything is possible, but the things I wanted weren't, and there's something better. It used to confuse me so much. I had that same fucking shit. I had that same shit. You can have anything you want, everything's possible. I want this specific job. Well, you can't have that. It'll you either get that or something better. Okay, which is it? Because it can't be both. Fucking pick one. When other people doubt you, that you'll get your desire in a certain amount of time, and that your own doubts being pushed out through them. Yes. If you hear somebody tell you, "Oh, you're probably not going to get that in that time," and then you accept it as true, that's the bigger problem. You That is a reflection of you still thinking that you're not going to get it. Because if you know you're going to get it, you don't give a fuck what other people tell you. They can tell you whatever, and you're just like, eh, no, not in my reality. In my reality, I have what I want. The end. Love that for your brother. Me too. I'm like, he found the keys. And even in something that trivial, I still had thoughts popping up of what if he doesn't find the keys, and what are blah 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 blah, worst case scenario thinking. And then I'm just like, no, he found the keys. He found the fucking keys. Why wouldn't he find the keys? Why is it more likely to me that he won't find the keys that he will find the keys? It's a choice I'm making. So no, he found them. Finally, after a long time, I could put my manifestation off the pedestal. Excuse me. It feels good, and now everything feels way easier. Nice. Congratulations. Heard somewhere that we don't know what people actually think about us. It's our assumption. So now I assume everyone loves me and thinks I'm great. Exactly. Exactly. They're thinking whatever you think they're thinking. So assume they're thinking good things. If I got on YouTube thinking that no one would like me and no one would want to watch me, and I kept telling myself that story, the first time someone left me a rude comment, I would not have kept posting on YouTube. Yep, they're right. See, I knew it. My content's crap and no one likes me. It's all what you tell yourself that it is. When people say things to you and it triggers you, oh, I'm not going to get oh, you could never have that or whatever. If you go, yeah, they're right, I'm never going to have that, that's you accepting that as fact in your life. Who cares that they said that? How are you reacting to what they said? I think people are I think people are quite hard on themselves and think that their mindset has to change from a doubtful mindset to a limitless one. Yeah. Yeah. I was so hard on myself. I still catch myself being hard on myself, but it's way, way, way less and way, way different than it used to be. I literally felt like I had to go from zero to a billionaire or I was a fucking failure. Not understanding what I was doing, not understanding like any of it, not understanding that going big, and I just use money as an example. This applies to so much shit, but going that big triggers every fucking belief system you hold about whatever you're trying to manifest. And the reason that it's hard and seems impossible is because you've made it impossible because you think it's impossible. Even that is a manifestation of what you truly believe. Sonia, what's something interesting you've learned, realized recently about manifesting? Everything I've learned, realized, I talk about all the time on here. Um, but something recently that I've learned. I have so many epiphanies about shit anymore. I don't even. My brain is drawing nothing. Hey, Sonia, I'm gonna run to the store. I'll be back in about 20 minutes. It's been great meeting you. I'll send you an email. Oh, it was great talking with you, Kenny. Have fun going to the store. And hopefully, I'll see you soon. Okay, sometimes I feel I'm not affirming enough for my specific desire. I rarely think about it, but just feel I'm not doing enough for it. Well, whatever you tell yourself is true is true. So if you tell yourself you're not doing enough for it, then you're not. And the reason is because that's what you tell yourself. I would say that you're focusing on it. I have to do it so much in order to get it. You're not actually being present with your thoughts about things when it comes up. What are you telling yourself about it? Why wouldn't that be enough to get you what you want? Was vaguely affirming I have so much money and my mom sent me $50 for a late birthday present, didn't even have to ask. Nice, see? And the way you manifest that shit is how you manifest everything. Yeah, I think people should start manifesting. I think people should start manifesting small things they don't care about to just build that trust. I agree. And oh man, talk about that like guilt thing. And I refused to do that. No, I can totally manifest my biggest manifestations just because I can. Yeah, that never worked well. And it was when I started doing things I don't care about and focusing on actually like understanding what I'm truly doing when it all started to make more sense. I was my own worst fucking enemy. I manifested a new high paying job by being consistent. I had to do an application where they do a credit check, criminal background check, and my credit is so bad. I was not able to pay for my phone for 2 months, and I repeatedly said to myself, I passed the application, and guess what? A week later, they told me that my application was perfect. Of course it was. That's amazing. Congratulations. Of course it is. You always get what you want. But it's exactly that. Oh, this could get in the way of me getting what I want. No, I got what I want. I'm getting what I want. Constantly bringing yourself back when you want to start going down those rabbit holes and following those breadcrumbs into, oh, I'm not going to get this job and this is going to go wrong and this is going to happen. And no, I got what I wanted. I got what I wanted. It worked out perfectly. Of course I got the job. Why wouldn't I get the job? I'm perfect for the job. Even with my bad credit, they still chose me. They made the exception for me because I'm just so amazing. However you want to look at it, as long as you're looking at it in a way that's beneficial to you, the wording doesn't matter. Changing you know, the way you're looking at it doesn't matter as long as you're focused on things going the way you want them to go. That's the biggest thing. That is the biggest thing in my experience. Hi, Sonia. Thank you for your tough love. You are helping so many of us. Question: is it okay putting boundaries with SP? Thank you. Well, I'm glad my tough love approach is helpful, and I'm glad you're here, Miss Gypsy Diva. Is it okay to put up boundaries with your SP? In my opinion, in my experience, yeah. But you still have to focus on your mindset. But in my opinion, in my experience, you live your life when you're manifesting and you do what you need to do. So if you need to tell someone to fuck off, or you need to tell someone, yeah, no, this isn't going to work for me, then you do that. Manifested an audition for a dance group, and the whole time I was doubting myself, saying everyone was a better dancer than me, and literally realized I can affirm I'm the best dancer in the world. Yeah. It's catching yourself and being like, yeah, I don't want that, and I don't have to think it. I can make myself feel better right now. And the more you do it, the more you're like, I don't have to accept these shitty thoughts. I don't. But when you first start doing it, it's uncomfortable and weird. Thank you so much, Sonia. It's thanks to you I got the job, because the me before would have automatically think that it wouldn't be possible for me to pass the credit check. Oh, I love that I got to be a part of that journey for you, but that was all you. That was all you. All you. Hopefully I say your name right. Susie? Sozy? That was all you. You're the one who applied the shit that I talk about. And it worked. And I fucking love that. And I'm so, like, I love that I got to be a part of that. That's awesome. And now you know when things start happening. Here's a big thing that I didn't realize this recently, but it's so important. As you move forward, after you have those experiences, when you start to come up against other shit, you remind yourself of them. It worked this time, and it worked that time, and I got that job, and I got through that credit check, and I did it this way, and it's gonna work again. All I have to do is keep applying it. Yes, setting boundaries is a good thing. See? Hi, Sonia. A while back, you did a video covering physical appearance. Can you give me your current thoughts on things like height decrease, getting shorter? It's like anything else. You tell yourself that you are the height you want to be. All of the problems that are a problem because you're too tall are no longer a fucking problem. You are the height you want to be. People love you because you're the height you want to be. The problems that you face are no longer a fucking problem. The thing that not so much from a manifesting perspective, but kind of a manifesting perspective, because it is about thoughts and it's not about adopting this process per se. But when it comes to physical appearance changes, one of the most interesting books I ever read was Psycho-Cybernetics. The author, I think his name's Maxwell Milks or something like that. He was a plastic surgeon, and when he was this book was published in, I think, 1960 originally. So when he was practicing plastic surgery, it says in the book that what people do now is unethical in plastic surgery. People who got plastic surgery back then needed plastic surgery for various reasons, but it wasn't just like, oh, I want this and I'm going to get it. And he talks about how once he started his practice, he noticed that there were three groups of people after the surgery. The people who were instantly different, the people who it took a second for them to adjust to the change, and the people who never thought they looked any different, even though they were unrecognizable to their family members. What he found was it was all mental. It's what you're telling yourself, and telling yourself is true. If you have really big ears and your story is no one likes me because I have big ears and I can't sell anything or make money because of my big ears, if you don't have big ears anymore, then all those problems go away. Well, all those problems can go away without your ears being a different size. It all comes down to self-concept and what you accept as true about yourself. You tell yourself that you're the height you want to be. That's it. I remember when my mind would like sort of reject positive thinking. Used to be like, I can't think that positive thought. Oh man. Oh my god. That was me so bad. That was me so bad. Yeah. I can't think that. That's wrong. Literally. I remember starting to work on my self-concept and having I tell this all the time, but I had pages of fucking affirmations of things I wanted to change about myself, and when you go looking for things, more things pop up. But when I just decided I'm going to add the blanket affirmation, I'm perfect, you can't say that. You can't tell yourself that. That's wrong. That's not true. But I did it anyway. And now affirming and thinking positively and telling myself what I wish were true instead of what what I was thinking before is normal. That's why I say it's a practice. The more you do it, the more it becomes who you are and it becomes your natural default. I used to be 5'4", and at the age 21, I manifested growing to around 5'6", 5'7". See? I've heard a lot of people changing their height. It's all about telling yourself that you're the height that you want to be. That's it. Literally. Just like anything. It's all manifestation is exactly the same. That was so hard for me to understand. It's so hard for me to grasp. Mostly because my law of attraction coach was like making it so complicated, and this is like this and this is like that, and I spent over 3 years trying to figure out the magic formula for everything, and the magic formula is just tell yourself that things are the way you want them to be. Yeah, I remember when I felt like it was wrong to say I'm confident because I was like, it can't be that simple. Yeah. It can't be that simple of just telling myself that now. Yeah. That's the whole thing. That's all it is. Was affirming my mom broke up with her shitty boyfriend, gave up, and months later my mom said she'd broken up with him and had wanted to since around the time I started affirming. Yeah. See, and it's experiences like that. Once you see it, you can't unsee it. I started thinking this, and then this happened. Holy shit. And then you start looking back throughout your life, and you're like, holy shit, that's all, yeah. That reflected everything I was thinking at those times. That makes a lot of sense of why things were like that, why things have always been like that. That makes sense of things that I need to be aware of and choose to view differently because I no longer want it to be that way. All right, you guys, I am going to jump off of here pretty soon. So if you have any last minute questions, let me know. Like I said, I came on here to announce that I'm going to do some, for lack of a better term, group coaching. I'm going to do my first one probably this Saturday. As soon as I get it set up, I will put it in the comments. I'll put it in the community if you want to check that out. Carrie and I started our Patreon, and we're going to do our first manifesting discussion group, I guess you would call it. Our Patreon adventure, if you haven't seen that live, that is in the description to the Patreon, and that will be Thursday at 12 Eastern US time this week. How do you live in the end when you're experiencing physical pains and symptoms that are in your face all the time that make it difficult to do other activities? I would go watch Nikki Is her, I don't know what Nikki's, I need to look it up because I always mention Nikki. Is it, she was manifest for me for a minute, but I don't know if she changed it or she changed it back. If you go to Your Thoughts Create, which is Flossie's YouTube, you can find there's you should be able to find Nikki's, and Nikki talks about how she was having seizures for a long time and how she would have seizures and not remember who she was or where she was, and she affirmed through it even though it was hard and it was painful and it was all the things, and got her manifested herself to be healthy. You do it anyway. I know when shit sucks, it's hard to do that, but manifesting is always the same. Whatever you tell yourself is true is true. There's also a lot of crazy stories on like Joe Dispenza's. He does all the health stuff, but I know his stuff's all like meditation and all that shit. But I know Nikki affirmed her way out of seizures. Yeah, then I realize that I have always been doing this. Yeah. That was another overwhelming realization for me too. It's like, oh no, I really have always been doing this. Because that would piss me off and like upset me, and I didn't want to accept it. It's like, that can't be right. That why would I? All the things people come to me with, why would I choose this and why blah blah blah. It's like, oh, now that I understand it, now that I see it for what it is, that was definitely me. I assumed no, I affirmed some old friends would contact me. I didn't talk to them for months. They contacted me like 2 weeks later. I asked them what gave them the idea and they said, I don't know, something just told me to. I love that. I love that. That's how it works. That's how it works. Just cause, I don't know. And to me, that's how you know it's a manifestation. When other people around you are like, oh, that's so crazy that that would happen, or what a coincidence that that would happen, or people are really nonchalant about it, like, yeah, and you're just like, no, no. Thank you guys for the hearts over here. So busy focused on comments, I don't usually see them over there. All right, you guys have any last questions for tonight? Been washing someone's dog I'm looking after. It reminds me of your dog grooming days. That does remind me of my dog grooming days. I'm actually gonna go get Jax groomed tomorrow because he doesn't like when mommy grooms him. So I have a friend of mine, groom him for me. He needs the only nationally certified master groomer in my area, me, the second one who's no longer holding the title, to be his emotional support human number one, and another groomer over there to be his second emotional support human. But then he's a good boy. We figured out what makes Jax happy. He says grooming is traumatizing, Mom. He's like, you know how that is up from the human side. And I'm like, yeah, you're not wrong, buddy. I don't miss my dog grooming days. Oh, man. But I will tell you, even that hellacious hellhole, that all not only was a manifestation, but was a massive part in leading me to where I am now. And I know that I wouldn't be able to speak on manifesting from a teaching, sharing perspective if I wouldn't have gone through all of my experiences with grooming dogs. That was a hard one for me to accept for a long time, but now I see it for what it is, and it's like, yeah, no. Did you have the belief that you were really good at grooming? Yeah, I did. I absolutely did. I absolutely did. I manifested being a nationally certified master dog groomer without understanding how I didn't know about manifesting. I manifested that not knowing I was manifesting. I manifested being a dog groomer without understanding. I had no idea, but I just had the idea one day I want to bathe dogs. Okay. That's cool. And kind of like imagine that, and then I was looking for a job, knew where one grooming salon was. I didn't grow up with dogs. I didn't have dogs. I didn't have dogs that got groomed. I don't know why the fuck I was like, I want to bathe dogs. I grew up with parrots. I don't know where dogs came from. I knew where one salon was, went and had the most awkward conversation with who turned out to be the owner, and a few months later, they hired me to train me to groom. I ended up manifesting both of my dogs in that time. Precious, I wanted a dog, and she showed up from the shelter. Jax, I thought it would be so cool to have like a rare breed. I love terriers, so it was like a Sealyham Terrier, or I saw a picture of a Louchen recently. I'm like, that would have been a cool breed. I just wanted to have like a rare breed. And then the next thing I know, I ended up with Jax, who's a Sealyham Terrier, and there are less Sealyham Terriers on the planet than there are giant pandas. I got my certification through just fucking determination. Like, I am going to be certified. I see now, looking back, that my hiccups getting certified were all me. I fucking manifested all that shit, but I needed dogs to groom to get my certifications, and I didn't have the right kind of dogs to practice on. I didn't have dogs for certification. I didn't have breeders that I could work with. Like, I had none of that shit. And I ended up going to an event, an NDGAA event, and just happened to sit next to somebody who was like, I have poodles if anybody needs them. And I go and I'm talking to her about poodles, and the head certifier of NDJA overhears me and is like, oh, I'm in Colorado, which I'm from Colorado, so we go to Colorado all the time to visit family. At that point, we were like going up there every year. I'm in Colorado. I can help you get dogs up, and you can come up there and certify. And then I have people down here in Texas that have dogs that can help me certify. Through having one conversation, I manifested all the dogs I needed for certification. Sitting there going, I have no idea how the fuck I'm going to have dogs to pass these stupid tests, but I'm going to pass them. Having no idea what I was doing, or that I could have just focused on being a master, because I went back and forth a lot. I'm going to do it. No, I can't do it. Yes, I can do it. Instead of just staying in the, no, it's done. Explains a lot of shit that happened on that journey. The person that was helping me with my poodles, I failed I didn't fail the first time I took my poodle test. They just didn't want to give me a grade because they thought I could do better. And the person who helped me with poodles, she had 3. One of the poodles the certifier did. I did one, and then there was another person who certified who did another one. And she's like, Sonia, out of those 3 poodles, yours looked the best. Yes, it could have been better, but like, if I were to pass you on any of it, like I would have passed you and not the other two. And it's like, oh yeah, that was a reflection of my fucking mindset. That's why that happened. I hate when the dogs shake and get water all over you. Laugh out loud. Yeah. Oh my god, yeah. You just get used to being wet all the time. Slobbery and hairy. You just get used to it when you're doing it all the time. But yeah, that was a part of my journey for sure. That was a part of my journey for sure. And it's really crazy because it was my last hurrah with certifying that I'm just gonna tell you, traveling and getting dogs together and traveling with the shit to, you know, scissors and clippers and all the things to do the dogs and shampoo and making sure you have dryers, and when you do your certifications, like, I had to be there at like 4:30 in the morning to be able to get my dogs prepped and bathed and dried and have time. I wanted to be leisurely instead of being the people who get there at the last minute and then throw their dog in the tub. And so I was up at 4:30 in the morning to, you know, get these dogs done. And if you get into competition grooming, which was my next desire, that was the real reason I got Jax, was to use them for competitions. By the time I got my certifications, I was like, yeah, I don't want to compete. And Jax was at the point where he didn't want me to groom him. So I was like, okay. But I still wanted the certification. At that point, the other thing I manifested owning a grooming salon when I had no way of getting one. But it all happened to where I could have one. And again, not knowing, and it took a long time to happen because I had no idea what the fuck I was doing. I had no idea that my thoughts were creating shit. But you could tell where my mindset was all the time. It was at my last certification, so I had to take, what was it, 4 written tests, and I had to groom 4 dogs, I think. I had one more dog to groom and the master test. So you have to pass the other 3 written tests before you take the big master test. And I went, and there was the day before, there was like a seminar that they did one day, and then the next day was certification and doing, like, grooming the dogs. And I'm like, I have sat through so many of these fucking NDJA seminars. I don't really want to sit through another one. And I'm like, hey, I have to take this master test that's 500 questions long, that's matching or true or false. Can I take it like during the day so I don't have to wait until after the class and then take it and then be here at, 5 o'clock tomorrow morning? They were like, yeah, of course. So I went and took the written test, and it took me a couple hours probably, and I go back and I'm sitting there listening to the seminar, and oh man, when it comes to getting certified in dog grooming, it is very much so, it's all based off the AKC, and so the American Kennel Club dog show shit, and knowing your breed standards and being able to groom to breed standard is what you're doing. Which I did not need any of that to groom pet dogs, which was what I was mostly doing, but I learned a lot and was able to have really pretty dogs because I learned how to do all this shit and learned about anatomy and, all the things. And I didn't have anybody to teach me any of that shit. Just like with manifesting, I didn't have anybody to teach me any of that shit. I learned breed standards and what breed standards are and how to understand breed standards with the AKC book, which is basically an encyclopedia of dog breeds, and a book that up until I started grooming had been out of print for years. And it was a dictionary of terms that are in the AKC book. So like shoulder layback or point of rump and like shit like that. And I literally went through this fucking AKC book with this dictionary and would look up every term in it to understand what the fuck I was learning. That's how I learned breed standards. it took a lot of fucking time and energy because the people who were teaching it from the perspective of you already understanding what the fuck these people are talking about. And I had no idea. I taught myself. And as I was sitting there, having just taken my master test, knowing that I have one more dog to groom tomorrow, which I think there was another manifestation. The dog I was supposed to do, uh, the owner of the salon who was hosting actually got me that dog. It was one of their clients, and the dogs like didn't show up. It was two dogs together. And I was just like, no, it'll be here. It'll be here. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. And the owner was like freaking out. Like, they're not going to come. They're not going to show up. I don't know where they are. And then the next thing they showed up and it was perfect. So I'm pretty sure I manifested that too. But I'm sitting there listening to these people talking about breed standards, talking about getting certified, talking about their same spiel that they had given me all the years I went to to NDGA shit. You know, spouting all their fancy terms and stuff. And there was this woman in the audience who raised her hand and asked, "How do you learn all of this stuff? How do you learn the breed standards?" And they gave the same answer that they gave me. You get the AKC book and you learn the breed standards. And I just was fucking, like, my world shattered at that point. And I was like, fuck you people. Fuck you people. If you don't come from the place where you understand all that shit, you can't just be like, get this fucking book that you're not going to understand and fucking learn it. It was the next day that I'm grooming this dog, right? I have my last dog. I did my sporting dog last, so I have this giant fucking Springer on my table, putting it in a modified show cut, having never groomed a Springer with this much hair or in this kind of cut before, and I had 90 minutes to do it. And the head certifier comes over and puts a piece of paper on my fucking table as I'm grooming this dog, and I'm like, I am in the middle of focusing, like, what the fuck? And she puts this piece of paper on my table, and she had written my grade for the master test. And afterward, she told me, she's like, I was so excited when I looked over your master test. I had to show that to you because I got like, I think an 89, an 89.5. 87 point something like that. I don't know. She's like, I couldn't tell you the last time somebody scored that high on the master test. Because you just needed a 70 to pass. You needed an average of like 80 or 90 with the other tests, but you only needed a 70 to pass that fucker. You passed with the highest grade I have seen in a long time. And I'm like, yeah, no shit. Because I have spent the last 5, 6, 7 years obsessively learning and understanding breed standards so I could come take these fucking tests for you people that are just going to tell other people who desperately want to learn, just go pick up those fucking books and learn it yourself. I remember sitting in my car waiting to find out if I passed my dogs and just being kind of like, I don't even care at this point. And then finding out that I passed, that I had accomplished my goal, and just feeling fucking nothing. Just feeling fucking dead inside. And being like, I don't want anything to do with the NDGA anymore. I don't want to compete. Fuck all of that. I was so fucking mad. So fucking mad. That was where I started learning about social media marketing and like teaching online basically. And I thought I was going to teach dog grooming. Because I'm like, I can teach people breed standards. I can teach them all the shit that these other fuckers aren't telling people. And that was where I was when I had a massive fucking mental breakdown one day at work and was like, I can't do this anymore. And that was the starting of the unraveling of, I don't want to be grooming at all. And that breakdown is what led me to manifesting. It was my fucking therapist that was like, you need a vision board because you don't know where you want to go in your life. So make a vision board. What the fuck is a vision board and why would I want one? And I dropped all the grooming shit that I had put all my energy into and put all my energy into manifesting. Because I had to understand it the way that I understood dog grooming. And I was being taught a bunch of bullshit, just like I was being taught in grooming. And it goes back even further than that. I had a really hard time reading when I was a kid. I'm pretty sure I have learning disabilities that have never been diagnosed. And, you know, having a hard time learning. And then I was homeschooled in high school and I taught myself fucking high school. So learning how to do that. And something somewhere along the line, I think it was in a speed reading class I took before I started high school. I think that's where this came from. It was where that came from. It was this class taught by this college professor, and she was like, when you guys get to college, because I was going into high school. In college, we're not really looking at what you're writing, like that you're writing the right answers. We're looking for that you can explain your answers. And the number one thing to remember whenever you're writing an essay is that the person reading it is reading it because they don't understand the topic that you are talking about. So when you write an essay, keep in mind that your audience has no idea what you're talking about. So clue them in on the shit that you just naturally understand. Not that they're stupid, not that they're below you, but they're coming to you to learn to get the information. And that has been my driving force in teaching for a long time. I remember when I was grooming, when we had the salon, I had a groomer that came and worked for me, and she only worked with us for like 6 months. She had worked, it's a whole long story, but she was learning from another groomer and had been learning from them for a long time, a couple years at least. She came and worked for me for like 6 weeks. And then she ended up having a lot of shit go down, and she ended up moving to be closer to her parents. And I ended up talking to her a while later, and she's like, Sonia, I was able to move to a new city, get a job grooming, and feel completely confident doing it because I spent 6 weeks working with you. And my whole thing working with her was doing shit in a way that I wish somebody would have did it with me. I remember teaching her how to groom Bashan heads. Every fucker I ever had try to groom Bashan heads, everybody was always right-handed, and I'm right-handed. So they would do the right-handed side, which is the easier side because you're right-handed, and do this perfect head. And then it's like, okay, now make this look like this, even though you've never done it, on the harder side because the left side is fucking hard to do. And I'm like, okay, great, congratulations. You just showed off that you're really good at grooming Bashan heads. You didn't teach me a damn thing, and now you left me here with this perfect side of the head that I now have to match, and I know I can't do that. Because you gave me no direction on what to fucking do. So when I taught her how to groom Bashan heads, I'm like, okay, I'm going to do this backwards, and it's going to look like crap. But I'm going to explain to you what I'm doing. Cut it in roughly so that you can then do the right side of the head and blend the other side in and fix what I don't do perfectly on the left side. And she's like, I fucking understand it now. Because there was direction and practice. With manifesting, it's so individual. The biggest advice I have for you guys is take what fucking resonates and leave what doesn't. The law is whatever you tell yourself is true is true. You have to be proven fucking right. And you have to be very, very real and very fucking honest with yourself. If you're not going to be real with you and learn about you, I can't fucking help you. There's no coach, teacher, whatever, that can help you until you're ready for that help. If you can't be called out on your bullshit, I can't help you. It's that fucking simple. Man, I wasn't expecting fucking story time. Oh, Kenny's back. Hi. Do you have any experiences with instant manifestation? Yeah, a few. A few. I have one that happened with other people involved. That was my first one. And it happened before I understood that it was my thoughts. And it happened before I understood manifestation. This was back in my law of attraction days when I had heard of law of assumption. I didn't understand jack shit. It was a manifestation that once I found Sammy Ingram and just like your thoughts and instant manifestation, and I'm sitting there going, man, I wish I could experience that. And then I was like, bitch, you have experienced that. And now you know exactly how the fuck you did it. Because it was very weird. I remember it being weird. So my dog, I have 2 dogs. Precious had a lump on her neck. And having groomed dogs for so long, I was very familiar with dog lumps. And I'm like, yeah, I'm not worried about it. But I need to take her to the vet for other shit. And I should probably have it checked out. She had this lump for months. You could see it when you looked at her neck. It was big enough to see it. And if you ran your hand on her neck, you could feel it. We take her to the vet. My brother came with me. Precious doesn't like when you're in the room with her. There was nothing that I needed to like specifically talk to the vet about. So we're like, we'll just stay in the car. We'll let them take her in, do the things, and we'll just wait in the car. Because if we're in the room with her, she's going to attack people. So I had been telling myself, Precious is healthy. The vet's going to tell me she's healthy as a self-soothing mechanism because I was worried about her. I didn't realize I was affirming. I didn't realize anything. I just decided I was going to tell myself she's healthy to make myself feel better. Literally, that was the only reason. And I remember sitting in the car with my brother and we're talking, and in my head, she's healthy, she's healthy, she's healthy. I had heard of Neville and a little bit about Neville, so I was like, I'm trying to imagine, which back then me and imagining is a whole thing. Getting visuals is a whole thing. For me, it's much easier to affirm. But I was like conjuring this image of like hearing the, inner conversations, visualizations of affirmations, not knowing that that's what I was doing, choosing the end where Precious is healthy. The phone rings. I put it on speakerphone. My vet's like, yeah, Precious looks great. We'll get the blood work tomorrow, but where's that lump on her neck? Now, mind you, it had been there for months. The vet tech felt it before she went in the building. The vet's now calling me saying that the lump is nowhere to be found. I'm like, it's right there. You can't miss it. Okay, well, we can't find it, so you're going to have to show it to us, and then we'll look at it. I hung up the phone, looked at my brother, and I'm like, you've got to be fucking shitting me, right? And he's like, I don't know. Like, how do you miss it? He's like, I don't know. The vet tech comes back out to the car with Precious. She's like, it's the weirdest thing. I felt the lump. I saw the lump. I know it was there, but I got in the building and I spent the whole time the vet was looking at her trying to find it. And I'm like, okay. So I start feeling her neck and I'm like, I can't find it. So I look at my brother. I'm like, Jimmy, you're going to have to find it. And he's just like, he was pissed. He's like, you've got to be fucking kidding me. He walks around the car, starts feeling Precious's neck. And it was fucking gone. And it has been gone ever since. And that was like 2 years ago. So yeah, I've had a few experiences like that. I talk about my mug on the counter. I thought I brought my mug downstairs, got pissed off when I realized it was upstairs, took the dogs outside, come back in, and it was sitting on the counter. Oh shit, I hit play and I didn't realize I was playing the video from 20 minutes ago. Did you answer already? I just finished answering, so I just finished answering that one. I honestly predicted the love being gone as soon as you mentioned it. That is fucking amazing. Still, yeah, it was Definitely shows you how malleable reality is. That's amazing. Yeah, it was. And like I said, I didn't understand. I didn't understand. At that point, I was still, excuse me, really into law of attraction. I was in a group coaching setting where I didn't even want to mention that to my other people. Like, I didn't want to mention that to my coach. It's like, she's going to think I'm crazy because it's fucking wild. But I had heard of Neville and imagining and living from the end. And for some fucking reason, my brain went to just tell yourself she's healthy. Completely as a like self-soothing mechanism. That's all I was doing, was trying to keep my focus off of she's going to die, basically. And yeah, once I found Sammy, and it's like, it's your thoughts, it started to click. Oh, that's what that was. That's why I always say, start manifesting shit you don't care about. When you start manifesting that shit and you notice the connection, I was thinking this and this is what happened, you start applying that to bigger and bigger things. You start applying it to more things. You start applying it to more areas of your life. And you start to understand, because now you have actual experiences where you're like, oh, I did this in here and then the outside changed. And it's also like that. I figured they would just be like, yeah, she has a fucking lump. So I was just focused on her being healthy. They're going to tell me that she's healthy. Thinking they're going to tell me she's healthy even though she has the lump, regardless of the lump. Not the lump must leave or that's the only way she'll be healthy. How do you manifest being free from an addiction? You tell yourself that you don't have an addiction. I've never had an addiction. I don't have an addiction. The way that you think about how you have an addiction and you need to stop the addiction, that's not a problem for you anymore. Just like anything else, whatever you tell yourself is true is true. That is the law. It is like gravity. It is always true. It is always, even in that, it is always true. Whatever you are telling yourself is true. Whatever you keep coming back to telling yourself will be proven to you to be true. This has always been true. Your experience is whatever you tell yourself that it is. It always has been. Whew, all right. Any last questions for tonight? That was like story time I was not fucking expecting to go into tonight. Wow, that's honestly an amazing example of Neville's techniques. The fact that you went straight to the end, which is your dog being healthy, instead of trying to make the lump go away. Again, I'm fucking telling you, if I wouldn't have groomed dogs for 11 and a half years, that would not have been a place my brain would have went. But because I had groomed so many fucking dogs and felt so many lumps, that it's like, yeah, the dog has a lump, you should take it to the vet and have it checked out. And then them coming back and being like, yeah, it's nothing. My vet at one point, he owned the animal hospital that I still take my dogs there. I don't know if he still owns it. I haven't seen him in a long time, but he once came into the room and told me, I just told the vet tech that they should just ask you what you think is wrong because you're probably right. And then right as I was getting out of grooming, and I mean right as I was about to get out of grooming, I brought one of the dogs in and he's like, do you happen to want to come work here? Because I need another groomer. And I was like, man, if you would have asked me that like a few years ago, I would have absolutely said yes, but I'm getting out of this. But it all was interconnected. It was all interconnected. I didn't see it, but I have always been on this path to figure this shit out. it's fucking crazy to see it now, because ever since I was a kid, I've always had this, like, I'm here to help people, I'm here to change the world, I'm here to, like, have this impact in the world. And I didn't fucking understand it, and I couldn't explain it to people. And that impact comes from all the experiences that have gotten me here. And now the impact comes from being my authentic self and saying what I want to say and what I need to say. I decided today, no, I want to go toward like group coaching stuff. And why don't I just do my first session on Saturday? Because for some reason, Saturday nights or Saturday mornings and Tuesday nights feel good. I don't know why. Okay, well, why not do them for a couple weeks and just see what fucking happens? Okay, well, if I'm going to do that, then I need to go live. Okay, it's like 6:20 at night. I'm just going to go live. Whatever. Following the breadcrumbs. Following what feels good. Which also comes from getting rid of, I had to quit doing one-on-ones, and I had to quit doing TikTok in order for this shit to open up. I've always been on this path, and this path is going where I want it to go now, because I am consciously choosing the direction it's going. If I could get here with as little conscious effort compared to how much time I spent having no fucking idea that I was doing anything, like, shit's good now. I'm trying. So right there, you're failing. You don't try, you choose. Do or do not, there is no try. I'm trying to make my parents not homophobic and let me date my girlfriend again, but I'm always find myself arguing with them in my head, and I'm not responding to their texts. How do I stop wavering? You're the one choosing to have arguments in your head. You're the one choosing to think that they would never accept you and let you do what you want. Until you realize that this is all being manifested and created by you. It's a perfect manifestation. And until you're ready to get yourself under fucking control and stop doing it, this will continue to be your experience. It's fucking discipline. It's a choice. The way that you can sit there and argue in your head, you can have the discussion you wish you were having with your parents, or not having one at all. This is you deciding that this is who they are, that they're not going to change, and that you should sit there and have arguments with them, which is manifesting perfectly. So until you're ready to drop that shit, don't expect anything to fucking change. Exactly. Being led by your intuition is key. What time will you start your stream Saturday? I am not exactly sure. It's I'm going to do it on Google Meet. I don't have it set up yet. What that all looks like. It's going to be more coaching, not just so toward if you have specific things that you want to come talk about and work through. I figure I'll get on for a couple hours and be able to talk face to face with you guys. I'm only going to let probably 5 to 10 people in, so it's not, it's not one-on-one, but it's not a super big group, and we can do it on Google Meet where it's not through text. But I am going to figure that out. I'm planning on probably 11 a.m. Central Standard Time, if our Central Daylight Time. I don't know even what we're in right now. Central in the US. But yeah, I'm going to get that shit together tomorrow and get it posted so that I can get that up. If you are interested, you can also send me an email, and I definitely like the meet idea. Yeah, I love coming on here and answering questions, but it would be nice to like talk to 11 Central. Okay, perfect. Then we'll go with that. Then I'm gonna do a Google Meet at do some coaching somehow. Yeah. If you want to send me an email, I can send you the link. If not, I will put the link, or however I end up doing it, through uh, the description. I'll also do a post in the community tab if you want to check that out. And we also, Carrie and I, if you saw the last live I did, we started our Patreon. We're going to go live. Is it paid or free? It is going to be paid. I don't know how much I'm going to charge for it. Carrie and I started our Patreon. We're going to do our first live manifesting discussion on Thursday at 11 Central. If you want to come check that out, that I believe is in the description. But yeah, I literally just had this idea of I'm going to do some group coaching. Just throw it out there and see what happens. That's where this live came from. So, all right, you guys, it has been a blast hanging out with you. I will see you soon. Have a great rest of your week. Love and light.